successfully if the people who are bowing to these fake gods understand more the place of worship to their gods than you understand the place of worship to the one you call the genuine God. Now, I am cracking something very serious and I need you to pay attention. A native doctor that worships one Kamano, the thunder god in Igbo land, or one Genukwenu, or one Amadiohan, or one Anolo. What are the fake gods you have in Esokaland? Aro. Ungu. Ogugu. Now, when you find a traditionalist worshiping Ogugu, his confidence in that Ogugu is so huge that how he worshipped that Ogugu will convince you that he believes in it. In fact, if you are not careful, he will make you lose your faith in your God and begin to believe in that Ogugu with him. His way of worshiping that Ogugu mirrors his perception of the size and strength of that God. Many times why it's difficult for Christians to win such people to God is that when you tell them to come and worship God, whom they have not seen, the only way they can perceive how big that God is through the way you worship that God. So, if the way you worship that God suggests to them that this God is not big enough, you don't expect them to leave the one that they believe is great to worship the one that your pattern of worship has minimized before them. Come on, how many of you are with me now? How many of you are with me? Did you get that? If you didn't get it, raise your hand. You didn't get it well. If you got it, can I see your hand? All right. We can build on that. So worship is such a critical thing because how you worship God says something. It says something to unbeliever about the kind of God we are asking them to come and join us to serve. That's why Paul began to tell the people of Athens. He said, this God you are trying to worship is so big, he doesn't even live in human houses. Houses built, this one you built cannot contain him. It's bigger than this thing you built. In fact, he made the heaven. He made the earth. He made everything in earth. He doesn't even need anything. You are offering sacrifices to your gods. This one is so big, your sacrifices. You can't even worship him with your human hands. In fact, he's the giver of life, the giver of breath, the giver of everything. He said, tell us more. Because all along, the God that they had known was the God who needed fowl and needed goats and needed a bottle of wine to become strong. How many of you, there are ways believers or even preachers can present God that ridicule who God is. Now, these people had served a God that could be provoked to action by giving him a fowl. And Paul was at this time saying, this God whom I'm introducing to you, doesn't need anything. Yes, we can give him everything, but we give to him what is already his own. He is not a bigger God. There are Christians today who have not overgrown that mindset that in order to get God's attention, we have to give him something. So we make him look like a hungry God. So Paul, by the Spirit, was showing Athens how massive this God is. And he said to them, this God created the ends of the earth. He set the boundaries where everybody will live. But his purpose was not worship. In verse 27, he said he wanted men everywhere to reach out to him. And that begins to challenge me. That God who doesn't want anything, who feels everywhere, still want people to reach out to him. Put that scripture in the NLT translation. It says, his purpose was for the nations to seek after God and perhaps feel their way toward him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us. So we are seeking someone that is not far. Now, it's a mystery. God is not far from any one of us. He wants us to seek him. And he says, we seek him correctly, perhaps we will feel him, we will find him. I want you to begin to see where worship sits in our experience with God. He's everywhere. But he must be sought before he can be found. Follow me tonight. I will show you something. In verse 28, he says, it is in him we live and move and have our being. How can I live in someone, move in someone, derive my being from someone, and I'm still looking for him? That tells you the mystery of worship. I will tell you 10 things tonight, very quickly, that worship represents in our experience with God.